Bear had settled into his new life on the island of Sodor. He was a hard worker and was quick to win favor with his fellow engines. Some had been weary of him. He was a diesel after all, and many of the engines disliked them. But with Henry's support, Bear was soon a firm member of the family. One day, as Bear was passing over the viaduct, a sharp gust of wind blew around him. He was so surprised that his engine growled out. He mentioned it to Henry when they next met. "The wind on that viaduct is something else," he said. "It feels as if it means to blow an engine off it." Henry chuckled, remembering Gordon and his dome, before his mind wandered further back. "You know, there's a legend about that viaduct." Bear looked surprised. "What legend?" "It's quite an old one. Not many engines know it. It's practically as old as the viaduct itself. I only know it as I was one of the first engines on the railway." Bear was very intrigued. "Please, can you tell me about it?" "Very well," said Henry. And this is the story he told him. Many years ago, as the railway was being built, there became a need for a large viaduct. The men set about the task and were building it in record time. There was, however, one man who seemed displeased with his job. He grumbled dreadfully, as he was an all-around bitter and unpleasant fellow. One day, however, when the construction was just over halfway complete, it happened. It was a dark day. Wind threatened the entire operation. Eventually, the men were called back for fear of an accident. They all returned safely, except for one. The bitter man didn't come back. He never did. Ever since that fateful day, he seems to have vanished into the mist. Some say he fell off, perhaps due to the wind, or just by a sad accident. Others, however, claim he was pushed into the viaduct itself, and was sealed away within the brick confines where he remained until his unfateful end. But his spirit lives on, and haunts the bridge. They say whenever the wind blows, you can hear him crying out, seeking revenge to the person who crossed him. "You," he cries, "you did this to me, you." "It's just a story, of course," finished Henry with a chuckle. "One told to cheeky little engines in hopes of keeping them in line. It didn't really work, of course, and eventually fell into legend. But that's the story of the viaduct." Now, Henry hadn't meant to spook Bear with his story, but what he nor any of the other engines realized was that Bear was rather afraid of the supernatural. The poor diesel soon became deathly afraid of the viaduct. Whenever he rumbled over it, he wanted to go as fast as he could, and often thought he saw things out of the corner of his eye. Nothing there. I'm just seeing things," he told himself. But he dreaded the viaduct, all the same. However, after a few days, he began to relax a little. That was until one night, when he had to take the midnight goods. The journey started out well enough. It was a quiet night, and the moon lit up the empty sky. Bear was enjoying himself, but he had just passed Marin when the legend of the viaduct came creeping back into his mind. "Oh no," he worried. "I have to pass it. I must be quick. I must be. Oh, thank goodness it's quiet tonight." Bear was still nervous, but he tried to be brave. However, as he rolled onto the viaduct, there was a sudden gust of wind. That was enough for poor Bear. He was so startled he blew a fuse. The wind was slowly building, and the moon disappeared behind a cloud. "We'd better phone for help," muttered the driver, but Bear didn't hear him. He began to turn pale. The wind screamed at him, coming from all directions. "You!" it shrieked. "You! No, not me. It wasn't me. trembled the diesel, his engine growling in fear. But the wind kept on, and Bear felt it only growing louder. You! Bear shut his eyes tight, but he couldn't stop the sounds. Stop it! It wasn't me! I didn't hurt you! Please! No, no, not me. No, stop it. Please, please.
Bear! Bear!
Huh?
Are you alright? I came to help rescue you, but you seemed dead to the world when I arrived. It was as if you'd fainted.
No, I just fell asleep, stuttered Bear.
Your driver said he thought you were great Newt.
Oh, I must have been snoring. I have been feeling very tired recently, yes.
You've been working solid, that's for sure. I hope you're feeling better soon, Bear.
And with that, Donald puffed away, giving a cheerful whistle as he departed. Bear didn't have a peaceful night. He didn't sleep a wink and seemed afraid of the brick wall of the nearby shed. He was glad when the sun finally rose. Bear never told any of the others about what he saw that night. He doesn't think any of them would believe him, but he swears he wasn't hallucinating. He really did see what he saw. He doesn't like the viaduct anymore, and always hurries over it when he passes. Bear never wants to experience his night of torment again. And for his sake, I hope he never does. Don't you?